I think we're going to get started. Actually, hang on one second. At a robot vacuum cleaner going at my feet. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here real quick. And at the end of this presentation, April, who's on the call as well, is going to collect all your guys' information, and she'll send out the recording of this and any information or here we go. I'm going to share two screens. Any information that we share here that you might use as a resource. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about, can you guys, April, can you see the screen? We good?
Yes.
Okay. So how can you supercharge your real estate business with ChatGPT? Again, I'm Philippe Heller. I own the real estate inspection company and, by the way, termite and pest control. I've been doing this since 2004, so I'm extremely familiar with real estate. My dad was a commercial real estate agent growing up, so there were a lot of weekends I spent in the back of a car driving around looking at properties. So I know what you're going through, the ups and downs of this market, and I'm in tune with what you're doing. And the principles that we're going to go through can really be applied in all sorts of businesses. So again, this is a no judgment opportunity to learn some basics. ChatGPT is a free platform. There are more features as you pay a subscription. It's not very expensive, but I'm going to show you how you can get some really good information even with just the free account. And let me tell you, even the next level up, which is $20 a month, is well worth your time. Once you see how much it makes your job easier, how much content you can get from it, how much more efficient you are, the $20 is going to seem cheap once you see how much time it can save you. So we're going to go over some ways to improve marketing and lead gen, how you can become an expert in your field or even in your neighborhood, and just basically how you can save a lot of time and boost your productivity. So what is artificial intelligence? What do they do? Well, it goes out. You've probably heard a lot of the talk about it. These are models that not only can understand language, but have gone out and does all this research. It has sucked up all this information from the internet, from YouTube, from all these different sources, and it compiles this huge knowledge base. How is it better than Google? Because Google's obviously done a lot of the same thing. Well, it actually can think about responses. So you can ask it a question, and maybe it made sense in your head, but it's a little bit vague. It's smart enough to prompt you to ask you additional questions. And we're going to go through some real world examples where you'll see. And it's like, how did it know what I was even talking about? Because Google won't. You ask it a question and it'll just spit out what it thinks is the best and closest response that you were looking for. The other thing that's really neat about AI is that you can have a chat with it so you can refine what you're doing. So for example, if you ask it to help you create an email that will help first-time buyers, that's pretty vague, right? But we can plug that in and see what it comes out with. So it may ask, what region of the country are you in? Things like that. And I'm going to show you how to set up your ChatGPT account so that it doesn't have to ask you those same questions every time. Over time, it gets to know you. It gets to know what your interests are, what business you're in, how to respond to you, things like that. So over time, it becomes better and better at providing the information that you're asking it. Again, it's available in a free and a plus version. There's actually higher levels if you're in a big group. Like for our company, we have a team account, and that way we can collaborate on certain projects that we're doing. And when I say projects, it could be proposals. We do a lot of commercial inspections, and those proposals are very detailed. And depending on what the client wants, so they want, a general physical inspection. Do they want ADA inspection included in that? Phase 1 inspection, there's a lot of things there. So we use it for creating and really proofreading and checking grammar and checking, punctuation, all that stuff with a lot of proposals. HR, we use it for HR documents, new hires. We can even use it to calculate compensation packages. On our termite side, they can get rather complicated with different commissions and whatnot. So just like a real estate agent, some of our guys are commissioned, and they can get a little bit complicated. And so we use ChatGPT to help us write clear and concise compensation packages where, we don't leave anything out, because it's smart enough to ask us about certain other things, like what is the paid time off policy? It's like, oh, I forgot to put that in there. So, it prompts you and makes your output that much better. You can use ChatGPT, of course, on a desktop computer, on, of course, mobile computers, and through iPads and your phone. They do have an app, the ChatGPT app, which I highly recommend. It's cool. I even programmed on my iPhone the little action button on the side. When I press that, it goes right to ChatGPT. So just a little shortcut when I don't want to just use Siri for a simple question. That's pretty cool. We use it for writing client emails, either directly to a person, where we may run it through ChatGPT, just say, hey, proofread this, make it better, change the tone of voice. Maybe you want a friendly one. Maybe you want something that's more serious. If you have, if it's a more professional thing and you want to sound, maybe add more confidence. So I'm going to show you how you can adjust the tone of your content with ChatGPT. It's a really cool feature. Of course, we're all interested in creating social media, and it's easy for a while, right? We can all come up with a topic, or, oh, it's spring in real estate, and you come up with a few things, but how do you keep that going? And if you have a topic that you want to have a series of posts on, this is the perfect tool for you. You can even create an email marketing campaign and have social media posts that correlate to that mass mail that your emails that you're sending out, so that you have a consistent message via email and across social media platforms. So that's pretty cool. Marketing reports. Agents win listings and clients by showing their competency and their understanding of the market and deals and whatnot, right? Like if I was going to sell my house, I'm going to hire an agent who really knows their stuff. And so what can you do to do that? Well, you can ask ChatGPT to do the research for you, and you can compile things if you're doing a newsletter, which can talk about, the market in general, mortgage interest rates, what's causing them to go up or down. It's a lot of research for you to figure out. It's like, how am I going to explain like the new tariffs and what's going on with the stock market, and how does that relate to interest rates? You don't have to worry about it, because ChatGPT can do it for you in seconds. And I'm going to show you some examples. And one of the neatest things is how it can summarize articles and even YouTube videos. Now, with that, to summarize a YouTube video, you do have to upgrade to the Plus account, which is $20. But what's cool about it is, let's say there's somebody you like to watch who has a YouTube channel, but their videos are 30 minutes long and you don't always have a half an hour to watch it. You can actually ask ChatGPT to summarize the YouTube video by simply plugging in the link to that video, and in moments it will give you a summary of that entire video. Fascinating. And that's what I was talking about, where the $20 a month will easily pay for itself in the time that it saves you. Okay, so let's start with social media content. Real estate agents' favorite marketing tool. Why? Because it's pretty much free, and it's an easy way to get your message out quickly and to a wide audience. So ChatGPT can write Instagram captions. One thing that's really cool is, if you do have a new listing, you can create a great detailed listing description of your property very, very quickly. You can, whoops, sorry about that. I have to move this here. You can create, let's see. Oh, you can create great articles about, how do clients get pre-approved, first-time buyers, what things should they do to increase their credit score, all that. You can ask ChatGPT to create a document, and maybe you could say, write a blog post to advise first-time buyers how to increase their credit score. That's it. That's all you have to prompt it, and it will come out. And you could say, keep that to 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, whatever you want, or a number of word count. And then you can expand on that and say, write it in a friendly tone, or write it in a professional tone. So there's all sorts of ways that you can tweak it so that it sounds like you, or it conveys the tone that you want to communicate. You can ask ChatGPT, create 5 social media posts about the benefits of living in San Diego, and it's going to come up with some really cool stuff. You can even use it to make funny, humorous posts. So create a humorous post about the difference of living in Los Angeles versus San Diego. And you could limit that. Maybe you could say, you know, don't talk about sports, right? Because that's a sore subject, or maybe you want to talk about it. Anyway, it comes up. It's fun to play around with this and see. And again, you can have a conversation so it's ongoing. So you could say, you know, add a comparison of the beaches between Los Angeles and San Diego, and it will refine what it says and give you that content. There's another thing that we have created just for the agents in Southern California. It's called a GPT, which is a tool that kind of narrows the scope of ChatGPT for just real estate agents and the things that you may want to do. So I'm going to go through some examples towards the end because that's a little bit more advanced. But let's say you have an investor who wants to know what the return's going to be on a house, right? That a flipped house, or maybe they're going to buy something and hold it long term. Well, what does that look like? What do the numbers look like for them long term? And we created a tool to help you calculate that. Again, it's going to make you look good and very competent because you have this tool. So it's pretty cool. Property listings, you can generate, you know, from basic to a really detailed, fun property listing. And it's smart enough. When we were first playing around with this, I put my house in there. Again, I live up in Ramona, and if you haven't been here, it's kind of rural. You know, there's horses, there's wineries and things like that. So I just said, write a listing description for my house, and I put in the address, and I said, add some things about living in this community. And it was smart enough to go out and find things about Ramona and talked about, you know, it did the listing, talked about my HOA, it figured out where I was living in the HOA that I'm in, and talked about the community. So it made a really, really cool description, which I could use as a MLS listing description. Always proofread them, make sure there's no bad, you know, prohibited words or anything like that. So this caveat, always check the work and make sure you want to post it. So again, social media, email, you know, you could say, hey, generate 5 emails that you're going to send out through your CRM, you know, once a week, but you can do all 5 in a row. Like you could sit down on a Monday morning, create 5 emails, saving you a lot of time, and just say, you know, create 5 emails about the most important steps of buying a house. And you're going to drip these out once a week or any time frame that you want, but it'll create that email for you with the subject line and everything. Let's see. Oh, if you do have a good CRM, this is a great way to program things ahead of time. Again, saving you a lot of time. You want to go on vacation? Great. There's no reason why your systems can't continue to work in your absence, making it appear that you're on the job 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Again, you can quickly summarize long research papers. You can use AI to generate key takeaways from a lengthy real estate webinar. You can record things. I know a home inspector colleague who had a Russian client. And what he did is he set his phone down with ChatGPT running, and he said, for the next hour, translate everything I say in English into Russian and everything else that's said in Russian into English. And they had a conversation through ChatGPT during the home inspection process so that everything was communicated as well as it could. And it went really, really well. So there are things that you can even do real time. It's very good at doing that. If you want to convert your email into another language, you can do that with ChatGPT. You can write an email and say, create a copy for me in Spanish, and it will do it really very, very well with high accuracy. If you plan events, this is something my wife always does for our companies, whether it's a retreat or, you know, you could do your client appreciation parties, or if you're a broker and you want to do something fun with all your agents, you can use ChatGPT to create, you know, retreats or events, and you could say, give me some ideas on team building exercises we can do. What are some great things to do in Orange County or Palm Springs? And it will come up with things, you know, things to do with a large group. Really, really fun and useful stuff. All right. Creating buyers and sellers guides. So you know what I'm going to do? I am going to, let's go through some actual examples. And I will also show you the GPT that we made for you. But yeah, so this is free. And April's going to send out the link to you if you want to use this. There's no cost to doing it. But actually, let me back up a step. I want to go back into how do you set up your Chat GPT so that it's really useful for you and you get the most out of it. So basically, when you get it, it's a very simple interface, which is just this prompt. This is where you enter stuff down here. And there's not much else, but when you set up your account, you have this little piece down here, and you go to settings, and this is where you can set some stuff up. So you can customize Chat GPT. So it's like, what should Chat GPT call you? This is new, right? Because I haven't even filled this out. So I could put in here, wait, I could put my name, or I could put a nickname in here if I'd like, whatever you want to do. And then it says, what do you do? So I could say, you know, I own a home inspection and pest control company. And then it says, this I've already filled out, what traits should ChatGPT have? And I told it, I like clear, detailed answers, including examples where appropriate. I'd like for ChatGPT to ask me questions when more information is needed. So this is important, right? So what I said before is you may ask it something, but you didn't think about all the details that might make it make sense, because you know all the information, but to the outside world, maybe it's unclear. So I want ChatGPT to say, okay, you know, you want to have a promotion post on Facebook. What's your target demographic? So it'll ask me that. You know, what age group are you going after? All these different things. What is your promotion? All those different questions. So I'm giving it permission and asking it, hey, ChatGPT, when I ask you something, if there's something that's unclear, please prompt me to give you more information. Where necessary, use bullet lists or numbered lists to break down information. I like bullet item stuff. You know, I don't want to read long paragraphs. Some people like that. I just want the bullet items. The tone I like to use most of the time is friendly and informative. It's a lot of what we do, right? As home inspectors, I want to teach people about, you know, things to look for in a house. So I want to be informative about it. What's the difference between a house built in, you know, the year 2005 and 1985? And so I want to be informative about those things. And then it says anything else it should know about me. This is where you can get more personal about you, and so that ChatGPT gets to know you. So I'm located in San Diego. That's very important, right? Because we're talking about houses, weather, real estate, things that pertain to San Diego that may not be relevant elsewhere. I own 2 companies, like I said before. I'm a coach to other business owners in the home inspection area. I love my dogs. I'm trying to grow my companies to $5 million in revenue. So here's where you can put your goals, your aspirations, your even, you know, if you want to put in some struggles, you know, like I'm struggling with my business, or yes. Ooh.
Hey, Philippe, we're not able to see anything on your screen.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Okay, let me reshare this. I'm sorry. Share. Okay, so this is the part where, and I apologize, let me go back up. So what should ChatGPT call me? What do I do? How do I like ChatGPT to respond to me? And then the other stuff about, you know, me personally. And like I was saying, you can't even put in, you know, it does not have to be glowing and this and that. You could tell it what your struggles are. Maybe, hey, I'm a brand new real estate agent. You know, I'm in a very competitive market. I've been struggling for the last 3 years, so that it knows your point of reference and what your objectives may be. Or if you're super successful, you know, hey, I've got 20 agents working under me and I dominate it. Now I'm looking to grow into Orange County. Those kinds of things are very important to let ChatGPT know. And let me go back out here. So I'm going to go back to the whole screen. And I apologize for that. So, okay, again, this is what it looks for. So, we said ChatGPT, you say, please generate 2 emails for me to send to my sphere of influence about how home buyers can increase their credit score. Okay, just something pretty simple. So it says, here you go. Here are 2 friendly and informative emails you can send. And it gives you the subject line, right? So email number 1, want to buy a home, start by boosting your credit score. And it gives you some alternative subject lines as well. Hi, first name, thinking about it. So first step, check your credit, know where you're starting from. And it gives you a link so that people can check and see where they're at without having to pull, pay for a credit score. Because I know a lot more lenders are actually charging for that now because, real estate's slow for agents, it's slow for lenders as well. So they started charging for a lot of things that they used to do for free. Pay down high credit balances, set up automatic payments, don't open new credit, ask for a credit limit increase, but don't spend it because it actually helps you if you have a credit card with a $30,000 limit and no balance. That's better for your credit than a credit card with a $5,000 limit, which seems weird, right? Because you could spend it in one day buying a house full of furniture, but it's actually better if the balance is 0. And so that's one email. And then here's email 2. It's got on the other end of that. So here are the positive things about what you should do. Well, it does say don't open new credit, but then here it talks about don't close old credit accounts. So even if you pay off, let's say you bought a bunch of stuff at Home Depot and you've paid it off a long time ago and you're not going to use it, don't close that credit card account because that actually diminishes your credit score. Obviously dispute inaccuracies, keep balances low, don't take out new debt, et cetera, et cetera. Now you could expand on it. You could say, let's see, write one more humorous email about email telling, I cannot type today, effective buyers not to buy a new car. And so now you're asking it to use something, it even said lighthearted and humorous. So then it goes through here. So these are things that are pretty light surface level things that you can do, but you just need to generate some content real quick just so people don't forget about you. We're all faced with that, right? Irrelevance. And in today's world, if you're not visible, you become irrelevant rather quickly. So let's see. I have to tell you some more. Oh, here's a ChatGPT research thing I did, which is really, really cool. I said, I wanted to talk about water leaks in a home. And I wanted it to find out from insurance companies, what are the most common causes of water leaks? And so I'm going to build some content around this. So I said, please find insurance statistics about how many claims are made each year due to plumbing leaks. Try to find the most common causes for those plumbing leaks, such as failure, high pressure, old components, etc. I gave it a little bit more information because I kind of wanted to keep the guardrails up about what I wanted. Then, like I showed you, I asked it, ChatGPT, to prompt me for more information if it needs it. So it said to make sure I gather the most relevant stats for you, because it wants to give me what the most accurate thing or the most relevant thing of what I'm asking. Okay, are you looking for data specific to the United States? Well, that's a good question, right? I didn't think about, do I want Canada where the weather's totally different than it is in San Diego? Do I want residential only or should I include commercial? Recent stats, how far back do I want to go? How do I want it broken down, etc. And then it's once I have these details, I'll dive in. So I responded, answered those questions, and then it went through and it started searching. And it did a long, deep research on all this stuff. It actually took it almost 10 minutes, which is long by today's standards, but it would have taken me weeks to compile all this information if I was sitting at my computer doing it myself. So it went through and it talked about, claim frequency and how they've actually gone up in recent years. And it talked about recent trends, residential for commercial, and what created that. And if you notice here, these little gradient things, it actually cited the sources of where it got the information. So it's not just making it up. Here are the sources that it did. So if I was like, I'm not sure about that, or I want to find out more, like here it talked about a commercial water damage claim averages about $89,000 in 2019. Well, in the last 6 years, obviously with inflation, that's probably at least 20% higher now. But I can go to McGuire Manufacturing and see what the conversation was to dive deeper into it. Anyway, that was really cool, and it gave me a ton of information now as an inspector if I wanted to have a series on, hey, what causes water leaks in your house so that you can take steps to prevent it. It's pretty relevant content for a home inspection company, right? Or even you as an agent, like, you're trying to get information into the hands of even past clients just so they don't forget your name. And, maybe they bought their house a year ago or 5 years ago, and you're saying, hey, it's me, your number one real estate agent, and I just wanted to bring this to your attention. So make sure you take these steps to protect your house. Hope you're doing well. And you put it into your CRM and you send it out to your circle. Really cool stuff. We even use it for our termite reports because, as you know, as real estate agent, you get these termite reports and they're kind of cryptic. There's little, language, industry language, and we're limited from the state of California on what those reports can look like. So you may get 3 different reports for a house that all look, pretty similar, and they all kind of say the same jargon. And what does it mean? Just give me the bottom line. What's it going to cost? Well, it could be very different because different companies have a different approach to repair damage, right? Is it fungus? Is it termites? Are we going to fumigate? Are we just going to locally treat? Things like that. So we actually have an internal GPT where we run all our reports through it. So it makes a nice cover letter so that your clients can really understand what it says in the report and clearly says what the different costs are for everything. So that's one way that we're using it in our business on a very, very regular basis. But I mean, I use it for so much other stuff. Let's see, what was this real estate?
Real
Okay.
quick, Philippe,
Yeah.
just because we had a little bit of technical issues earlier, can you just show us where you personalized
Sure.
your ChatGPT just so we don't miss that?
Yes. So down here where my name is in the corner, you see Philippe Heller, and then you go to settings, and then you go right here to customize. I don't see,
Oh,
when I
see,
click
that's
on this,
why
you
it's
can't
not
see it
showing
anymore.
us. Yeah,
You
it's
know
not
what?
showing us that part.
Yeah. I've got some, let me show you the slides that I have, which show you this. So let me share this. It's funny, I'm having a little trouble sharing 2 screens today, which is weird. I don't know why it's doing that. So, all right. So on your setup, where your name is down here in the corner, you click on your name, and then a screen will pop up and you click Customize Chat GPT. And then it gives you these fields in which you can give it the information that it's asking. So what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? And this is where I talked about, more personal things. What are you? Are you, you're a real estate agent. Are you seasoned? Have you been in the business a long time? Are you brand new? What do you like to do personally? I mean, you can share that. Like if you're a beach person and you love to surf and you fish and you do all these things, well, this might be great when you ask it to generate some content for you and you're kind of vague. It'll say, oh, you fish. All right, well, let's write some articles about maybe chartering a fishing boat. And because it knows that will resonate with you and you're a coastal agent or you love the beach, so it's going to keep it relevant to your interests and what you want to talk about. It's pretty cool. I mean, you can get really detailed, like, do you want to deal with seniors buying? Are you an expert in helping seniors buy and sell their homes? They're downsizing, whatever it is. It's where you can put it. How would you like ChatGPT to respond? Concise. Do you want very deep, big details? Do you always want references? Like the example I just showed you. I do want references because I want to be credible. And if somebody challenges something that I say, I have the sources that will back up what I'm putting out there. I think that's very important, right? Credibility. Also with your phone, and I'm an iPhone guy, so I can't speak to Androids. I should look this up. April's husband's an Android expert, so I should ask him how to do this. But at least most people in real estate do use iPhones. No offense if you're not, or whatever. I don't want to start that debate here. But with an iPhone, if you've downloaded the operating system 18.2 or newer, it actually can link Siri with ChatGPT. So you may ask Siri some questions, like recently I had to buy some tires. Kind of boring, right? So I asked I asked Siri on my phone. I was driving and I said, hey, compare these two tires. And it said, because I've linked my accounts, it asked me, do you want me to ask, or do you want to get the response from ChatGPT instead? Because Siri's just going to look it up on Google. I don't know if you read it. Apple paid a lot of money to Google. It uses Google to find answers. But I said, no, use ChatGPT and see what it says. So you can do that. You have to go into settings, and then there's a new line there when you download the newer operating system that says Apple Intelligence and Series. And then you can tap ChatGPT, and even if you don't have an account, you can still utilize it. But if you do have an account, it's better. It's going to give you more relevant information because of the things I showed you, where it's going to know more about you. So anyway, it's a cool way to link your phone with ChatGPT. And again, Android is made by Google. They have Gemini, which is their AI, so it may link with that. I'm not sure how that works. Again, admittedly, I don't know a lot about Android. It's not a diss. I don't want anyone to get offended, but yeah, you're gonna have to research that on your own. So that's very important. All right, the most important thing about using AI to help you is, how do you prompt it? That means, what do you type in to get the results that you want that are the most useful? And it comes out to these topics generally. You have a task. So this is a personal request that I asked for ChatGPT. I wanted it to create a workout routine for me. Gotta keep the cage. So I didn't want to just say, hey, create a workout routine. That's kind of vague, right? Because it could say, okay, go run 10 miles every day. I don't necessarily, my wife would do that, but I don't necessarily want to do it. So I said, generate a 5-day home workout routine. What context? Okay, I'm a little older than 50, but this is an example. I'm a 50-year-old male in decent shape. I have some basic equipment. Yeah, we have dumbbells and, workout bench, things like that. Example, I like cardio or upbeat workouts versus just weightlifting. Now give it a persona. So, hey, ChatGPT, act as a personal fitness coach when you figure this out for me. And then, what do I want the output to look like? This is a really cool feature. The format. Hey, create a table listing the exercise, the number of reps, and this should say quantity, little typo, and quantity for each day. So it'll break it down: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Do this. How many reps? And how many times should I do that? And make it in a table. So it's idiot proof for me. Okay, on Monday, I'm doing this. Tuesday, I'm doing this. And then the tone, okay, this is talking about how I want it to speak to me, just like you might to your clients. I need this written in a motivational tone to encourage myself. Okay, like talk to me like, yeah, you can do it, rather than, just really cut and dry. It may not motivate me as much. Anyway, as I said, you can carry on this chat with ChatGPT so that you can dive deeper into a subject. So following this workout routine, I can modify it. Say, I hurt my back, so I can't do XYZ. Great. Then it'll modify it. And then you might follow up. So this is great. Create a meal plan to help me lose 10 pounds. Ask me any questions you need to tailor a plan that meets my lifestyle. What if you don't like to eat seafood? Well, it needs to know that, right? So it's not going to say eat salmon 3 times a week if you hate seafood. That's an example of the prompting that you may give it. Another feature in the paid account is called deep research. So it's kind of like what I did with the plumbing, the leaks. So I said, in this case, the deep research question or prompt was, perform a market analysis for the San Diego County real estate market for February of 2025. Create a newsletter of approximately 4 paragraphs or 1,000 words to explain the trends comparison to the prior year, February of 2024, and make an educated guess as to where the real estate market will be for the following month. And pretty cool, right? This is that's a lot to ask. It's a lot of research if you were going to do it on your own, right? You're on SDAR, you're pulling up the fast stats, you're looking at this year, you're pulling up last year, you're trying to find. Ask ChatGPT to do it. Even if you do download those fast stats, and I mean, if you're a member of SDAR, you know what I'm talking about. Most MLSs have this. Comes out about the 7th or 8th of each month for the prior month. And you could download those PDF files, March of this year and March of last year. Then you can upload those files to ChatGPT, and you can ask it to do that comparison for you. And so it's really cool. And I'll give you another example of how useful that feature is. Anyway, it came up with high rates slow the market. That's one of the biggest factors influencing the market in early 2025. Talks about mortgage rates. It compares what's up and down versus last year. So this is great for a newsletter. If you're an agent who sends that out on a weekly or monthly basis, you could say, hey, here's a recap of, last month versus the year before. Where's real estate headed? So it's really cool. Another neat feature about being able to upload documents is in your own either personal finances or perhaps your business. For example, we were looking for some charges, right? When you have a business and, we have quite a few employees across the organization. So we're just trying to keep, expenses in line. So I was able to upload, I downloaded all the statements from my bank accounts, and we have several, obviously, for the different companies, uploaded them all to ChatGPT, and I said, find all of the recurring expenses under $100. And it went through, and create a table for them, right? So I told it what format I wanted it to output. And it created a beautiful list of all of the recurring expenses. What did that do? It helped me identify little subscriptions that we may or may not be using anymore. So it'd be like, hey, April, are we still using this? Sorry to single you out, April. She's our growth manager, so she does all these things. So she, hey, here's something we subscribed to last year to get some information or whatever it is, some content. Are we still using it? It's like, we really don't use that anymore. Let's cancel it. So we save, literally going through this exercise, save thousands of dollars every month just by being able to analyze finances. We've gone much deeper in that, where now I've uploaded, I made a GPT for internal use where we upload all our financials, and I can ask that GPT to give me some evaluation of it. So every month I put our financials in there, and then we talk about, our profit margins, our overhead rates, all sorts of stuff. It's actually very, very cool and very useful. All right, some people love this feature about ChatGPT. You can ask it to create artwork for you. It's a really fun way. Of course, social media, even emails, people love visual stuff. And so you don't always have content, or it's expensive to buy it if you go to a place like iStock Photos or something like that. So sometimes you just want to create something unique. So I was writing a post about, obviously, our termite company, and we're trying to be a little bit humorous about it. So my prompt was, create a graphic image of a termite dressed like a warrior eating a piece of wood in a house while other termites look on with admiration. You could just imagine this, right? It's like, charge, we're going to eat this house to bits. And look what it came up with. It was a termite in warrior garb, and he's chomping away at this house, destroying it, and all of his little minions are, yay, this is Terrence the termite. We gave him a name. And so it produced it in just like a minute. And so you can have a lot of fun. I've done this with flip houses. We wrote an article because we see a lot of bad flip houses. And so I prompted it to create an image of a poorly done ranch house built in the 60s. And anyway, it came out with a really, really cute image of a house with parts falling down and water spraying out and things like that. So it's a very fun and easy way to generate some artwork. And it's getting better all the time. Like, it's becoming more photorealistic as we go. It seems like every couple of weeks there's a tremendous improvement in the quality of the images. So that's a fun one to play around with. All right, GPTs. We talked about these a little bit. GPTs are almost like little applications. So we talked about prompts, right? That's a very important thing. Now, if you want to use ChatGPT repeatedly for certain things, well, do you save that prompt and you paste it in every time? That seems very time consuming. So you can actually create a GPT, which in its most basic definition is a set of instructions that you can reuse over and over. And there are GPTs, you can explore GPTs. Let me switch my screen here. Let me go back to ChatGPT. All right, so in ChatGPT, you can go up here into the upper left corner and you see a couple of GPTs. And this definition, or this little entry right here, it says explore GPTs. You can click on that. And again, it's not, unfortunately, it's not showing you the windows that pop up today. But anyway, you can search for GPTs on a whole host of subjects that can help you with writing, with filling out forms, with engineering, with programming. I mean, it's endless what people have generated GPTs for. And then once you pick one, they turn up here. So I have a commercial real estate GPT. So it's AI empowered guide to commercial real estate, offering insights, market trends, etc. I find that useful. We do a lot of commercial inspections. Here's the one that we created for you as a residential real estate agent in San Diego. So it is called SoCal Real Estate Pro. And it helps you with the content, branding, and marketing insight support for the Southern California real estate professional, and now with ROI tools. So you want to calculate the ROI for a flip. Oh, this little area right here, these are called conversation starters. So these may change from time to time, but it's ChatGPT's way of giving you some examples of things that you might want to ask it. What are the latest San Diego housing market updates? What's the cap rate on this rental in Oceanside? Draft a listing description for my new Chula Vista property. And so these are things to kind of get your creative juices flowing, but it's not limited to that. But let's just say, create ROI for this flip house. Here are the numbers. So ChatGPT says, okay, well, I need some information before I do that. So what's the purchase price, the rehab renovation cost, holding costs, which include property tax, selling costs, etc. Then it asks it also give me any other things, like are there hard money fees, etc. Once they have those, they'll break down the ROI. And I don't want to go through it right now because it'll take a long time, but you guys get the idea. So if I go back to the GPT and I might want to say, let's see, create an email with a market outlook for San Diego. Typo. You don't have to be great with your spelling because it'll figure it out. So here we go. So this is just geared towards, now you could ask ChatGPT without this GPT, but because we've trained it to be really specific about San Diego, it knows like what the median home prices are here and what direction they're moving. So this is March of this year versus March of last year. So that's pretty cool, right? That's talks about current mortgage interest rates, days on market, closed sales. In March of this year, there were 1,620, which is up 4.7 from March of last year. So this is just great information on the fly. You're in a hurry. You can generate this and go. Let's see. So that is an idea of what you can do. You can even say, generate a social media post depicting the difference between living in Ramona and Pacific Beach. Like that's very different areas of San Diego. Let's see what it says. See, so it talks about country living, larger lots, equestrian friendly and vineyards. Really good. And then PB, coastal energy with laid back vibe. So it's just a really fun way to get your content. It even comes up with hashtags. Then it says, would you like a version with carousel style slide captions or branded graphic to match? Yes, please create a graphic for Ramona and Pacific Beach. And this will take a moment, but it's going to create the images. Let's see what it comes up with. It's pretty funny. You may have seen all the posts lately about agents or whatever kind of created in a action figure packaging. So this is kind of fun, right? It shows, I can't make it larger. You can't see it. Anyway, you can see side by side. So a little romanticized picture of Ramona with vineyards and the equestrian centers and bigger properties. And then here's a beach town with surfboards and beaches. So these are just some of the fun things that you can do with ChatGPT. So let me see. I'm sorry, because I was focused on there. Any questions of where we're at so far? Do not add account numbers or personal identification numbers. Like, so of course, yeah, I would never enter that unless you're super, comfortable with that. I don't see any reason why you would. But definitely don't ever enter in super personal information in here. Now, I was doing a listing thing, so I did put my address on here. I'm not too worried about anybody finding that, but certainly not any financial information. Yes, our GPT that we created, the SoCal Real Estate Pro, is completely free, and can help you kind of generate and focus on the Southern California market. That's really important when you're doing any kind of market research, things like that. You can also add this as an app icon to your home screen. Yes, that's a really good shortcut. Yeah. Any other questions about things you want to see? I've got to show you one that blew my mind the other day. I just took a picture of my roof, and let me reshare this. This blew me away. I was really surprised by this. So I just took a picture or uploaded a picture of the back of my house. This was a drone shot, and it just shows a picture of the backside of my roof. And my only prompt was, please give me an estimate for the replacement cost of this roof. The house is approximately 2,000 square feet. That's it. Anyway, it went through a very detailed thing. Roofing material, clay or concrete. It recognized that from the photo. Roof slope is moderate because a very steep roof obviously will cost you more. Tile roofing, it's likely original. 2 flat roof sections with modified bitumen or torch down, sometimes called. Solar panels, it recognized the solar panels, obviously. Anyway, then it went through its calculations of how it estimated the total roof area, which is critical in determining the cost. And it went through and it had some stuff going on. Then it even talked about the cost for removing and reinstalling the panels. So it's smart enough to know, hey, there's an extra fee for somebody to come out, remove the panels, and then come back out and replace the panels once the job is done. So it gave me a really detailed estimate here with the low to high. So low end was 28,300, high end was 47,800, which is very accurate because I've actually had roofers out here to give me that estimate, and it was right in this ballpark. So let's see, if you're in it even knew this, right? If you're in San Diego, the pricing may lean towards the higher end due to labor rates. Very accurate assessment. So all I did, so if your client is asking you, hey, roof's a little shady, what's it going to cost me in a few years to replace that roof? It's a good way to give them a ballpark. Now we use the quick fix, right? So if you upload our reports, you can get these estimates that are perhaps a little bit more detailed from the quick fix. But if you're just looking for a ballpark estimate, high-low estimate, it did come back and ask me, hey, can't tell if those tiles are clay or concrete. Please, clarify. So I said they're concrete tiles. So then it reduced the estimate downward a little bit because concrete's cheaper than clay. So now my high estimate is 39,800. And then it says, do you need a formal quote template? So it'll prompt you for more information. So anyway, very cool stuff that I've used ChatGPT to get information for me. And oh, in our GPT, you can also upload, let's say, a home inspection report. From any company. It doesn't have to be from us. We hope it is, but if not, you could certainly upload any and just say, give me a summary of this home inspection report and maybe, highlight the most significant things. And it will crunch that report down. Yes, most reports come with a summary, but they can still be very lengthy. So you could say, summarize this report into 3 paragraphs. And you upload that PDF file, you give it that prompt, and it will return a very, very concise and specific summary of that report. It's a very, very cool feature that helps you. Oh, I wanted to, do we have time? Well, we're kind of running out of time. So one of the things that I told you about that you could do with ChatGPT was summarize an article. So let me share this real quick and let's do an example. So ChatGPT. And I am going to grab, so I just went to CNBC. Let me grab something real quick off of CNBC. So CNBC is good for, business related stuff, and they have things about real estate all the time if you go to their real estate section. And I'm going to grab, all I'm going to do is grab I'm going to grab the link to an article. I'm not even going to read the article. So I'm just going to copy the link. It's entitled Mortgage Rates Sink on Tariffs, but Housing Costs Are Still Near a Record High. So I'm going to go back to my ChatGPT and say, please summarize this article for my blog post. Keep the summary to 2 paragraphs. Because people's attention is very short. So it's going to go out there and it's going to read that article and boom, there you go. So just recent developments in global trade policies, blah, blah, blah. While lower mortgage rates can enhance affordability for prospective home buyers, the broader economic implications present challenges, etc. Again, content that can make you look really in command of the situation of your of the real estate market, show that you're extremely knowledgeable, and make you look good. So let's see, are there any other questions? No, I'm not seeing anything typed. If you want, you can raise your hand or you can unmute yourself if you want to ask a question or type it in the chat here. Is there anything else you'd like to see or ask? And then I'll go over a real quick summary because our hour's almost up here. But bottom line is get a ChatGPT account, personalize it with the information that I showed you, with who you are, how do you want to be responded to. You can get pretty detailed in that. So it starts to get to know you. And then I would recommend, play around with the free version first so you get to know, like, oh man, if I ask this way or if I continue on, I'll get better and better responses from it. I think you're going to quickly find that the $20 is worth it, not only because you can then upload documents to it. So there'll be a little plus thing and you can upload. You can even, this blew my mind too, just like my roof picture. One of our guys found a deck that was really bad. It was a wooden deck overhanging a big slope. And I just uploaded the picture and asked ChatGPT to describe what's wrong with this deck. And it went into this great detailed response about how a proper deck should be structured and what it observed in the picture. And it even created a diagram showing me the proper configuration to support the live loads of the deck. It was amazing. So you can actually upload photos and you can get a really, really good detailed explanation. Don't be surprised if within the next months or certainly a year, you're going to start to see a lot more AI evaluated items in a house. Our inspectors are starting to use it more and more when they see an appliance like a furnace or a water heater or something, and they need more information. They want to see if it's recalled, whatever. They can simply take a picture of the data plate, and ChatGPT will come back with all sorts of information on it. So it's already starting to change a lot about the information we're getting from a house just by uploading a picture. So the $20 accounts are really cool if you work with a team or you're a broker and you have a bigger team. You may want to go to the Teams account. Those are $35 per person, but you have both your personal account then, and you have the team account where you can work on projects collaboratively. So that's a very cool one. And we use that in the companies more and more as we generate more content or just use it for running the business. So that's everything from policies and procedures to financial analysis to onboarding and offboarding people, all sorts of HR documents. Very, very good. So let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, sample questions. Yeah, these are great. Draft a newsletter about rising interest rates. Compare Encinitas and La Costa. Yeah, perfect. All right, April put the link to our chat or to our GPT in there, so you can copy that link, paste it in, and that way you have access to it. The info you type into the GPT is private to you always. Yeah, we don't see it. That's a great point. I don't see it, so I'm not going to, go, oh gosh, so-and-so posted something disparaging about home inspectors. I'm not going to see it. And so it's not used. When you go to a Teams account too, ChatGPT doesn't share your information with its general learning model. So there was a post or somebody asked a question or made the statement about not posting personal information. So let's say you're uploading financial documents like we've done on our Teams account. It's not sharing that with the world. So, there are some guardrails on that. Otherwise, if you guys don't have any questions, I want to keep this to our hour that you guys graciously committed to us today. And I just want to thank you. And let's see, my husband is in cybersecurity, so I feel obligated. I think you're right. I mean, whenever you're doing anything on the internet, Facebook wants access to all your photos. If you don't think that they're scrolling through and scanning your photos, like, whatever, if you're into motorcycles, and you have a lot of pictures of that, they're going to be feeding you ads for that. Every platform, it's just, be smart out there, right? Like don't post crazy pictures or say crazy stuff on the internet, because there are consequences sometimes. We all know that. Yeah, just be careful. But I think for the level at which most agents and people like us, small business owners, are using ChatGPT, I think we stay well within the boundaries of risking stuff. But again, yeah, don't ask ChatGPT like, what is my Social Security payment going to be when I retire? Here's my Social Security number. I'd probably not do that. So anyway, if there's no further questions, I want to thank you. If you need home inspections, termite inspections, pool, commercial, mold, anything like that, get in touch with us. We'd be happy to help you. And April is going to be sending you a link to this video if you want to review it. And also, again, the link to the GPT if you don't have a chance to copy or write it down. Otherwise, thank you very much. And we're going to be coming out with classes that are a little bit more advanced, so keep an eye out. We'll send that mass email out so you guys can jump on if you'd like at that point. But get out there, try it. There's no additional cost, so just run stuff through it. Have it evaluate some contracts for you, or come up with have it look at your counter offers, things, just whatever you can think of, put it in there, ask it to evaluate it, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with what you get. So enjoy, and thanks again for joining us today.